Hey everyone, it's the Trojan, and I thought I would go ahead and kind of do a little tips video, more of a what the hell I was doing in this gameplay video, adding a little context to some of these plays. This was a good game because I go on like a 20 kill streak later on, but I have a lot of really close calls this game where I'm just kind of very close to dying all the time, and I'm having to repair myself because I don't really have a co-pilot. And the people that do join in are not engineers, or at least they're not repairing, and they're really just taking up space where I could switch to repair myself. So that's actually one of the reasons I really don't join squads when I play, if I'm going to play in the scout heli, is because you get snipers and medics that get in and they want you to like drop them off on cranes, and and so I'm just trying to get kills this game, especially since we had a fairly aggressive team, and I'm putting pressure on their base most of the game, if not the whole game. So yeah, so one of the things that I'm doing here is just being a complete nuisance in their base and just kind of running around and getting really close to dying with these RPG shots. And right here I kind of bump this rock to get, I went a little too low, and this little bird finishes me off. But one of the interesting things with the endgame maps is that it's like they're all made out of rubber, and you can kind of bounce a lot of times. Like if you do a nosedive in the scout helicopters, most of the time you'll actually survive if you hit the ground and take no damage. And it's just, I think it's how they made the map. It may not be on purpose, but I've done a lot of nosedives where I should have just been obliterated and I come out okay. And it's actually really nice for turning on a dime, but I wouldn't really recommend risking it too much. But anyway, what I'm doing here is I'm getting behind rocks because I figure I'm getting locked by stingers, and stingers ignore below radar, so you can't just break the lock by being close to the ground. So a lot of times I've got to go behind rocks so I break the line of sight and they can't see me. And I've always got to remember that this tank spawns behind me, and I think it is a fast respawn server, at least faster. So I've always got to look for these vehicles spawning. And right here I'm just trying to gain altitude because I know that the gunner seat of the tank is looking at me and trying to shoot me, so I do a little evasive maneuver by just spinning, really trying to avoid it, and just gain altitude as quick as possible, which is really the only thing you can do when a tank is aiming at you, because it takes about 3 full volleys to actually disable and destroy a tank, and a lot of times you won't be able to outgun the gunner on your own unless you have people repairing you, and you risk getting shot out. So I usually like to disengage and come back in for the kill after I disable it, but here I got out of there because it's getting locked. And this is actually part of, I think I get a 20 kill streak this life, which is pretty nice. And our team has captured the flag first, so I'm not really pressured to go in and try to take the flag, as I'm doing a lot more for the team just by keeping the other team just trapped in their base. I actually had a game after this where I was playing with a friend and we just played the objective the entire time and captured everything for the team. And I'll actually be posting that next because it was actually one of the quickest capture the flag games I've ever won. And I saw this little bird at spawn, but I didn't want people bitching at me because of base raping, so I just kind of let him get in the skies, and kind of was a mistake because he almost killed me. But luckily you can switch to the passenger seat and repair. And right here, one of the things I was most nervous about was that my squad mate was probably going to spawn on me. And when that happens, I know that if I switch seats to repair, then this odd job is going to get in the pilot seat and try to fly. And I don't want that. I'd rather die. I'd rather have the thing die. So I'm here trying to repair myself, and I see that my buddy that spawned into my helicopter's gotten out and is trying to get back in. And I switched to the pilot seat just in time, and I wouldn't have let him. I wouldn't have left him there, but I definitely would have been annoyed if he had taken off and left me in the passenger seat, because that's happened quite a bit, and that is one of the most annoying things that can happen to you if you're a pilot. Anyway, so right here I know this guy on the ground is trying to RPG me, so I try to be really, I'm just inconsistent with my movements and kind of just looking like I'm a drunk flyer as much as possible, because my movements aren't predictable, so they kind of have to guess shoot when they're trying to RPG me, and this tactic actually works quite a bit. Right here, check out this nosedive. This did no damage, and this actually happens quite a bit. You can do these nosedives and not really take damage, and for some reason this helps avoid javelins for some reason, but I'll talk about that in another video. So the nice thing here is that we're not really pressured to cap any flags. I'm just trying to be as annoying as possible, and I'm succeeding here. And here's my little spin move. Most of the time when I start doing this, people start bailing out, like, holy crap, who's this asshole, who's flying? You know, he's gonna get us all killed. And really what I'm doing is getting us not killed by doing that. So usually when I'm getting shot at, I'll do that move because it makes it very difficult to shoot the pilot out. And one of the biggest dangers for me when I'm piloting is just getting sniped out, because you can't really do much about that. It's not like you got damage down to 15% and then jumped out and someone stole it and repaired it. That's your error. But when a sniper shoots you out because you were too low or just too exposed, it's, you know, you can't really do anything about it, and your chopper's at 100% health, and it's definitely going to get stolen. So my general rule is that I go down with the chopper most of the time, even if I'm going to die, because the worst thing that can happen is the other team steals it, and then they've got 2 helis in the air and you've lost your most valuable asset. Especially for capture the flag, because most of the time when people pick up the flag, they get on a motorcycle or something and they try to take off, but you can easily use your guided missile on them. So generally it's better if you go down and die with your helicopter than let it get stolen, because it definitely has happened, and I've deeply regretted getting out. Anyway, I'm actually surprised this guy stayed with me for quite a while. I'm watching my squad mate actually stay in my helicopter, and I wasn't too worried about this heli because he was using heat seekers, and most of the time when you're up against a heli that has to use heat seekers, you kind of know that they're not that good. Heat seekers are not effective. They're a little cheap sometimes, but they're not as effective as your main gun, and guided rockets are much more useful for a team game. And you know, with only one air vehicle, it's not necessary to have heat seekers. So I kind of, you can kind of figure out the skill of the other pilot based on their perks they're using. I guess they're not perks, but customizations. And I'm not even sure. I think I'm using belt speed and ECM as my main customizations, and that's pretty standard. The ECM will usually evade most things, and right here I just get this was a little bit of a bad move, but I didn't want to risk landing and repairing and getting shot out. So I'm trying to get into a safe space, and I see this guy, and I kind of realized I was going to die here, so it kind of sucked, but at least it didn't get stolen. So anyway, this is pretty much wrapping up. I think that was about a 20 kill streak, but I'll be posting some good. I had a 47 kill game right after this that I'll be posting, as well as a very fast capture the flag game where I work with a teammate to just constantly get the flag back to our base. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all later.